This is the ditch that my vehicle is stuck in. Hi, and welcome to the channel. I travel the US in a self-converted van with my cat Tux. Join us on our adventures to see it all.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
What up, YouTube? So yeah, as you can see, I was stuck in there pretty good. All this originally began as an exciting Christmas present for myself. The plan was to head out to Voyageurs National Park and see the Northern Lights for the holiday, and also hang out there a little bit and ring in the new year. I was super excited, even though I had to make the drive from Southern California all the way up to the US-Canada border to International Falls, Minnesota. So it was in the beginning of December, and I took time off and had planned to spend anywhere from a few days to a week up there exploring the park and, of course, catching the Northern Lights. I had heard from a friend I met down at Dry Tortugas in Florida that you can see them up there. Subscribe to see the video I'm working on about my experience at Dry Tortugas National Park. Here's a few photos to hold you over. Sure enough, you can see them from up there. And if you head over to their website, which I'll link below, Voyageurs is actually an international dark sky park, which is really cool. They also have a link to a pretty cool aurora forecast by the Alaska Geophysical Institute. You can actually load it up, select what area of the globe you're going to be in, and find out how active the charged particles are in the sky, up to a month out actually. So I scrolled through and saw the perfect date where it was going to be super active, and then set things in motion to get up there. So I plan to get part way up there and gradually make my way every weekend as I work full time. I planned it out and ended up spending quite a bit of time in the outskirts of Salt Lake City, Utah. Never really been to Utah for an extended time, only been there when I went to a super dope van event in Wyoming. Again, video of that coming up here as well. More pics of that here. Are you ready to start with the show? So yeah, I figured I'd chill out, hang in Utah for a while, but unfortunately, my body was not down. I ended up getting super sick. My guess it's the change in seasons, but who knows? My mind was into it, but my southern body was not. After days of NyQuil and Theraflu, I was able to get back to full strength and started to head back out on the road northeast to my awaited destination. So at first things were going pretty chill. Utah was super dope, but the more I went north, the sketchier the roads got. At this point, I was traveling on Interstate 80 and had even turned on the radio to the inclement weather radio stations. As soon as I crossed the Wyoming state lines, all hell broke loose. I never really figured out why, but they had shut down the interstate. I assume either a crash or the roads were just so f***ed, but either way, I was a sitting duck just sitting there contemplating what I was going to do next. Still had Google Maps up while I was on the side of the road eating some trashy truck stop burger, and then Google pinged me and said, "Hey, I got a new detour for you." I was of course excited because remember, I work full time and couldn't just be in the middle of nowhere for too long. So after some consideration, I decided to go for it. Roads were still kind of sketch, but I actually saw a few other folks that were not from the area headed the same way. So I said, fuck it, let's go. Went down the sketch road, butt cheeks tight, wondering if I was going to slip and slide, and I get to this sign that says, "Your GPS is wrong, turn around." And I figured, these people just don't want out-of-towners coming through their back family way. So I figured I would just ignore this bright orange sign and keep it moving. I did see a young couple in their car on the side of the road right before the sign, taking a look at a map. Maybe they were contemplating if they wanted to risk it for the biscuit too. So I'm going down this road, and again, butt cheeks tight. Everything seems fine so far. It's a small dirt and ice country road with a bunch of ranch houses dotted down it, and not too much else. At this point, I felt fine, thinking in my head how I was going to get around all this traffic and how genius I was, until it happened. I was driving, and in order to not hog up the road, I was kind of on the side, and what I thought was the road wasn't road, and it was ice. And I went straight through the ice shoulder, nose first, into the soft snow. I was in shock and kind of sat there for a moment in the heat until I got out to take a look. I actually forgot to turn off the car and even put it in park, and when I got out, the front wheel was still spinning. And when I say get out, what I really meant was swim. The snow came all the way up to my waist, and at that point, I knew I was pretty screwed. But yeah, this just happened. I am stuck. And we got the kitty right there. Yeah, we're pretty much buried. Yep. After getting out and looking around, I gave AAA a call to see if they could get someone out to help get me pulled out of this mess. Unfortunately, they couldn't find anyone. They only had flatbeds and didn't have anyone who could winch me out. So they said they'd give me a call back when they found someone. I didn't want to be unproductive, so I also called my insurance to see if they could get someone to get me out. I don't pay for roadside assistance on my insurance because I have AAA, so it was going to be $200 just to get someone to get me out, and I had to pay for that up front. I'm in the middle of nowhere, it's cold, and it's getting dark, so I say f it and just pay them their $200 so they could come get me. Around this time, I actually get a call back from AAA with them saying, hey, so you're on an unpaved country road. We cannot come get you. Would you like us to call the local sheriff so they can help? Wait, what? I was in shock, but luckily I said sure. An hour had passed, and I called my insurance back, and they're unable to find anyone to come get me either. I guess I kind of understand. This was around that freak winter storm that happened about a year ago. But, you know, it was kind of disappointing. But again, I'm in bum nowhere. It was at this time I noticed a burning smell from my vents, so I turned the car off quickly, and, you know, maybe I didn't break anything. Fingers crossed. So, it is now officially dark out, and I still haven't got my tow. Me and Mr. Tux got the heating blanket going, and we're trying to stay warm until the tow truck guy gets here. So me and the kitty were just waiting in the cold, and so I turned on the heating blanket on high, and we just kind of hung out until the sheriff got there. We chatted a bit, and unfortunately, like cops do, he asked for my license before he tried to help. After he ran my stuff and made sure I wasn't a criminal, we chatted for a bit. He stated that he knew a local guy, in the town that could come get me out. At this time, AAA wasn't helping me. My insurance weren't helping me. And even though they charged me, they still weren't helping me. And it was getting dark fast. So I said, f it, and told him to get his boy out to help me. Plus, the sheriff said his guy could be out there within 20 minutes. This is the ditch that my vehicle was stuck in, and this is the excellent tow truck man who actually got me out. Look at all that. Well, what do you know? This guy came quick. I figured the sheriff told him how f***ed I was and that I would pay anything to get dug out. So yeah, he came quick and was eager to help, especially after I agreed to pay his price. And what price do you think that was?
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.